shoot from three, how poor they shoot from the free throw line, how they're one of the worst teams in the league as it relates to turnovers. Then you look at their roster and be like, wait a minute. They signed all of these vets to one-year deals, and then you look at the other side, they have all of these players that are on rookie deals. None of these guys feel like they're invested in the Lakers except LeBron James because none of these guys have long-term security with the situation.
Another question.
Being Magic, Stephen A., is a lot more jovial. People get a chance to appreciate your greatness and all of the amazing things that you've accomplished. Laker fans want to see them win championships. They want to see them contend. And now you have LeBron going into his 17th year. You have Magic unable to deliver the second-level All-NBA superstar. So he now understands this is my best time to tap out.
I have another question for you, and this is a sensitive question, so I want to be very clear. It's a sensitive question. Rob Pelinka is a former teammate of yours at Michigan. How close are you two?
Oh, we're really close. I'm close with Magic as well.
I understand, and I know that, I'm not trying to apply. I'm just saying, before I say that, before I say what I'm about to say, I wanted to ask you that question in all fairness, because I don't disagree with anything that you're saying. I just don't think that's the point in regards to the timing that all of this has gone down. And so when you take that into consideration and covering the NBA the way that you do and knowing the NBA the way that you do, I personally want to put on the record, I like Rob Pelinka. I have no issue with Rob Pelinka whatsoever. He's always been cool with me, and I think he was a hell of an agent. But what is inescapable is that everywhere you turn, this guy, whether it's by other agents or executives, and you know this, Jalen, is incredibly disliked by some of those people. And then when you hear that behind the scenes that he and Magic, because Magic, according to my sources, until a few weeks ago, Magic and Pelinka were fine, absolutely fine. And then all of a sudden, Magic became aware that things were going on behind the scenes that he didn't like, and he thought some of it was coming from Rob. Rob, obviously, in defense of himself, was absolutely right to come to his defense because you got people who are jealous and envious of his accomplishments and could be lying on Rob Pelinka. But the reality is that it got to Magic. And so Magic yesterday during the press conference asked Ramona Shelburne, asked Wojnarowski, ask Dave McMenamin, ask Brian Windhorst, ask any report, ask anybody that was in the building last night listening to Magic Johnson's press conference. And when he was asked about Rob Pelinka, it wasn't pleasant. It wasn't. Tears were about Jeannie, and the affection was for Jeannie. There was no love for Rob. Did you notice that, Jalen Rose?
Support
and
come
what
from,
is your
Stephen
response to it? Huh? I'm sorry, Max. What did you say?
Where does Pelinka's support come from? From Jeannie, correct? And why does Jeannie support Pelinka? Isn't it Kobe Bryant?
Yes, correct. But I'm asking you, Jalen, what I just said, what's your response to all of that?
So a few things. They were operating in tandem, Stephen A. You can't necessarily exclude when Magic Johnson is on Jimmy Kimmel and he's talking about Paul George. You can't blame that on Rob Pelinka. He got fined for tampering.
Of course not.
When there was time to do a deal with the Pelicans as it related to trying to acquire Anthony Davis, the things that he said, not Rob Pelinka, made the team feel like he was tampering with their player, which made them not want to deal with the Lakers at all. And if you notice, the Pelicans GM, Dale Demps, lost his job. And in theory, Magic Johnson stepping down from his job because both of those franchises went in flux when that deal became public and it didn't get done. Do you think Magic Johnson has trepidation of firing a coach? Like, this dude is a billionaire. He's a conglomerate. He makes changes all of the time. It's not that he's afraid to do it, Stephen A. What it is he understands what I've been trying to tell you, which is why you owe me a pair of designer shoes. This Lakers situation is we anticipate that they're going to be a contender. But the reality of it is they need to build that. LeBron James doesn't want to hear words like process. He's going into his 17th year. And in order for this squad to be one of the best teams in the Western Conference, it's going to take a couple of years because I don't believe they're going to get one of the top-tier free agents this offseason.
Jalen Rose, that was really, really slick. And you can give lessons on being slick, and that's a compliment. You're smooth as the other side of the pillow. But that's not flying with me, bro. The fact of the matter is this. Yes. All of the stuff that you just said, I don't refute in terms of what has happened to the Lakers or whatever. And yes, I do owe you a pair of sneakers because I thought Lakers were going to the conference finals and they were a 4th seed at the time that LeBron got hurt. But you talked about Denver and you deserve props for that. So I'll give you your sneakers. It's not an issue. But that wasn't my question, bro. My question to you is about your former teammate, who's now the general manager of the Lakers, who clearly in the end Magic did not appear to have much love for. I need you to answer that question because all the stuff that you said is right, but it's irrelevant to the point that I'm getting to, and that is the friction that existed or appears to exist. I don't know it for a fact, but it clearly appeared to be the case with every reporter that was there yesterday when it came to Rob Pelinka. Could you answer that question?
Yes, sir. I like to gauge success off of realistic expectations. And Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka, Stephen A., were working in tandem in order to try to make the Los Angeles Lakers a contending team. When that doesn't happen, relationships splinter when you don't make your goals. And all of a sudden, just like being on a losing team, a winning team, when somebody makes a mistake, my bad, I'll sacrifice and do a better job. On a losing team, everybody starts to point fingers. CYA at that point. And so I understand what you're saying about some of the reports that came out about Magic's work ethic, about the fact that he has so many interests that he wasn't at the job every day consistently. He was never going to be the guy that was going to be scouting high school and college players, 24/7, 365, because he's more of an ambassador that's holding the role of president, which is why you bring in Rob to actually do the day-to-day functioning, get it done type of work.
All right. Max, with the last comment
that's why the hiring of Pelinka raised my eyebrows in the first place. Magic Johnson, as you say, he's the face, he's the ambassador. He's not going to do the detail work. Everyone knows that off the bat. The question is, who do they bring in? And when they brought in Kobe's guy, I thought, Pelinka? And he's not a GM. He's not an experienced executive on that side. He's a seller. He's not a buyer. Well, that's very strange. That seems like competing forces. Magic on the one hand, Kobe on the other. I think Kobe has a real place in this story, so to speak. But I want to get back to Magic, Stephen A., because you're defending him in certain ways by bringing up Pelinka, and I agree with you about that. But I will say this about the way Magic went about this announcement. On the day Dirk and Wade retired, right before the last Lakers game, the way he walked away, it's his no mas moment, like Roberto Duran saying no mas to Jalen's point. And I don't think he'll ever live it down. Love Magic Johnson. Lakers fans will always love him. But this is a day that will go down in the story of Magic Johnson, like Roberto Duran saying no mas against Sugar Ray Leonard.
We got to go. Max, you just dropped a bomb on us with that point. And I want Stephen A. to respond to that after the break, guys. We have plenty more on this. We're just getting started. That was riveting television, if I do say so myself. Tonight, it's the final night of the NBA regular season, as you all know.